baby T-Rex. Uh-oh. That one bites.
That is so cute.
Damn.
Huh?
The audio tour?
No, we don't.
You can just scan this with your camera.
We're just getting ready for Jurassic Quest over here at the Rose Bowl. Today, I think, is opening day. We're here during the day. This event does go till the nighttime. I can't wait to show you guys just a complete overview. There's a scan that you can do for the audio at the very beginning. And this audio is about 32 minutes. So I'm guessing this Jurassic Quest is around that time period. But I'm excited. This is the first time I've done this. We're going to check out a lot of dinosaurs. It seems like there's a lot of dinosaurs here. And some of these dinosaurs are actually moving. So this is a really cool event. This is the first time I've ever done it. We're here with the beautiful Mystery Bear. And then we got Sonic in the background. Oh,
Is
man.
this thing working?
It says press play.
This is Dino Dustin. Here's one of your guys to Jurassic Quest.
You ready for this?
Yeah, this is cute. I like how they tell you how to pronounce the names.
Oh, yeah?
Dilophosaurus.
Please keep your hands, feet, heads, children, and other appendages inside your vehicles at all times.
That's a
We know
Raptor.
that there's a lot of incredible sights to take in, but please be very careful to pay full attention to the driving path, as well as the distance to
How do you say that one, Mystery Bear?
Please observe our
Dilophosaurus?
5-mile-per-hour speed limit.
That's cool.
The only time you should leave your vehicle
What about
is
this
at our
one?
designated restroom area. Our
Tyrannosaurus.
But don't worry,
Tyrannosaurus.
we have a perfect track record of 0 dinosaur-related attacks.
Whoa.
This week so far. Well, I think you guys are ready for your Jurassic Quest. Please
That's
pause
a
the
nice
audio and
Oh, look.
volcano.
Volcano.
Why is that so
I'm Prehistoric Nick, fossil expert here at Jurassic Quest. What
This
you're
is
looking
so
at
cool.
is the Triassic period. The Triassic started about 251 million years ago at the end of another period that we call the Permian. One of the earliest dinosaurs that we know of was Utahraptor. Its name means donkey, as it lived at the dawn of the age of dinosaurs. Utahraptor made it from what is now Argentina about 231 million years ago. Beside that is a kind of skinny dinosaur. Its name means hollow form, because they had hollow sacs of air in their joints like cartilage. Dilophosaurus is the oldest known dinosaur from North America. And here is a large fragment. Velociraptors is the
dawn of the age of dinosaurs, but it too had to come to an end. Just a little over 200 million years ago, the Earth encountered another mass extinction, believed to be caused by an increased period of volcanic activity. It caused the extinction of roughly 70% of life on Earth.
Caleb here. Hope you're on
Leopleurodon. That's cute.
What's the big one called?
Leopleurodon.
Leopoldon?
Yeah, it looks kind of like a turtle mixed with
Ammonites are
a
separate
weird.
means they are relatives of the squid, octopus, and nautilus. Their spiral shells protected them from predators. Some shells got to reach sizes of 6 feet across or more. The animal that looks kind of like a small
Audio tour until you reach the next scene.
Outside of your vehicle is where we keep our Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus was a predator from the very beginning of the Jurassic period, around 200 million years ago. Now a lot of people have ideas of Dilophosaurus spitting poison or venom or acid, and a lot of the pictures and toys show them with a big frill around their neck. Well, unfortunately, the movies that this idea comes from used what we call artistic license, which is just a fancy way of saying they just plain made it up. We don't know for sure that some dinosaurs didn't spit poison, but we don't have any reason to think that Dilophosaurus did. There's also no evidence that they had that colored ruff. The frill is seen in other creatures when frightened, like a frilled neck lizard or a wild William Shakespeare, but not in Dilophosaurus, as far as we know.
Who can name the dinosaur here covered in plates? If you said Stegosaurus, you're right. Stegosaurus is a Jurassic plant eater whose back, neck, and tail
were covered in bony plates. Stegosaurus had a special weapon. Along its tail, it had a set of spikes called a thagomizer that it would use to defend itself from predators. And the predator it had to worry about the most was Allosaurus. T-Rex isn't the only scary meat-eating. Allosaurus was one of the larger predators around in the late Jurassic. Allosaurus had long arms for a theropod with big, hooked claws. These could help it grip onto its prey while it used its serrated teeth as its primary weapon. We know it used its arms because scientists have found signs of microscopic stress fractures on the bones of their forearms. This happens in bones when a person or an animal is using force to move heavy weight with their bodies. They might have used their arms to keep prey from getting away, or possibly to hold onto a Stegosaurus's tail. The Coelosaur family that lived in what is now China. The Coelosaur family was made up of mostly small predators, but as time went by, some Coelosaurs eventually became a bit bigger. Specifically, Tyrannosaurus Rex. The big, long-necked dinosaur in this scene is a Apatosaurus. A Apatosaurus is a one-necked dinosaur. Sauropods were the biggest animals to ever walk on Earth. In order to get that big, sauropods had to eat all the time. To eat even more, these long-necked giants didn't even waste time chewing, but swallowed the leaves from trees whole. But they had a special trick to help them digest their food. Sauropods would sometimes crane their long necks down to the ground and swallow small stones. Those rocks would help them grind up their food once it was inside. Those rocks are called gastroliths, or stomach rocks in Latin. These gastroliths are super important because they help scientists to learn the migration patterns of these dinosaurs by matching the gastroliths.
Early Cretaceous period. The Cretaceous was the longest of the three periods of the Mesozoic. The Cretaceous period saw all kinds of strange new life forms, including weird new plants that we call flowers. We're starting off in what is now England during the early Cretaceous, roughly 120 million years ago. The duck-billed dinosaur you see is what we call an iguanodon, and it's one of the first dinosaurs to be discovered and named. Some of you might have already guessed that iguanodon means iguana tooth. When iguanodon was discovered in England, no one had ever even heard of dinosaurs yet. So when it came time to name this bizarre new animal, the only similarities anyone could think of were that its teeth kind of looked like the teeth of an iguana, only bigger. The very first drawings of iguanodon depicted it as a giant iguana-like creature. The animal it's next to is Baryonyx. Baryonyx was a carnivore, and specifically, it ate fish. We know that it ate fish because when the first Baryonyx skeleton was found in England in the 1980s, it had fossilized fish bones and fish scales inside of its belly, along with a few bones from a young iguanodon. Since it lived in what is now England, as one of its last meals was fish, this could be the earliest evidence of anyone in the UK ordering fish and chips.
Our quest has now taken us from Europe to the continent of Asia, still in the early Cretaceous. The big dino you see here is Utahraptor, the feathered tyrant. Utahraptor is part of the Tyrannosauridae family. That means it's a relative of the T-Rex. Utahraptor lived in the Liaoning province of China. What makes Utahraptor special is that it is the largest dinosaur that we know of with feathers. We know that Utahraptor had feathers because of where and when it lived. About 120 million years ago, a volcanic eruption blanketed much of the Liaoning province with hot ash. While that was devastating to the animals at that time, it's great for paleontologists because it preserves soft tissue, in some cases including feathers.
Hi, it's Park Ranger Marty again, and welcome to the early Cretaceous, North America. The furry guy is Utahraptor. Now let's see, can anyone guess where Utahraptor was discovered? Utah! That's right, Cincinnati. Just kidding, folks. Utahraptor was found in Utah. Utahraptor is the largest known member of the raptor family.
And now, for something scarier with an even bigger bite. Megalodon! Megalodon is the largest shark to ever swim the seas. It is believed to have reached up to 60 feet in length and had rows of hundreds of teeth. These teeth would sometimes fall out and be replaced with new teeth, similar to sharks today. Megalodon teeth have been found on every continent, including Antarctica, for centuries.
Now behind him is a predator named Seatz. Seatz was a massive predator that lived at the end of the early Cretaceous. Very little is known about Seatz due to how recent of a discovery it is. But it is thought to be a member of the Allosauridae group that lived into the early Cretaceous. Seatz lived in North America at about the same time as some members of the Tyrannosaur family. But those Tyrannosaurs didn't get any larger than about the size of a Great Dane, because the alpha predator role had already been filled by Seatz. It wasn't until
I like how they got the bathrooms.
Have you know? Can you guess what it is? Did you say Spinosaurus? You got it! Spinosaurus is one of the largest carnivores to ever walk the earth. But it mostly ate fish. We know that because Spinosaurus's teeth have been found embedded in fossilized bones of a large fish. Although they have also been found in the bones of other dinosaurs. Spinosaurus is a creature that was a mystery for a long time. Its fossils were discovered in 1912.
I think we kept playing it while we were up there.
So what do you think so far?
I think this is great. I've learned a lot. Like, there's a lot of information, and they're actually really cool creatures that are out here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised dinosaurs have feathers.
Yeah, the feathered dinosaurs,
Yeah.
that was cool to see.
Yeah.
You never see that. All right, we got like half the show still to go.
Oh,
Justin, is this a secure line?
Sure, I think. I just turned off the mic. Yeah, they definitely can't hear us now. What's up?
I just noticed that the T-Rexes aren't in their areas. Do you know if they've been moved to another location?
I haven't heard anything about moving them anywhere. They should both be there. I can check in with Nick and Marty to see if they know anything about this.
That would be great. I'll organize a search. We need to find them soon, but we cannot get our guests worried. Let's keep this on the down low.
Roger that.
We're moving through time again, folks. Welcome to the late Cretaceous. The Spinosaurus we just saw spent a lot of time in and around water, and that's where we're going. Welcome to the western interior Seaway. That's a shallow sea that stretched from the Gulf of Mexico to the Arctic Ocean during the Cretaceous period. The Great Plains of what is now the United States and Canada used to be underwater. Lots of marine fossils are found in places like Kansas. The first creature here is the long-necked Elasmosaurus. It's a relative of the Plesiosaurus, but much bigger. Second is and snakes. They had forked tongues for tasting scents in the water. They even had a row of teeth in the back of their mouths for holding onto prey in the water. And that scary fish that you see that looks like a cross between a piranha and a tuna is Xiphactinus. Xiphactinus was a voracious predator that lived in the oceans all over the world. It could reach lengths of up to 20 feet long. If you have any other questions about these creatures or anything wet.
Hey Marty, it's Dustin. Sorry, I hate to ask you this, but you didn't happen to turn off the invisible fence, did you?
Don't be silly, Dustin. How else was I supposed to get in there?
Marty, the fence only shocks dinosaurs that are chipped. You don't need to turn it off to walk in.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, I guess I learn new things every day.
This is serious, Marty. I need to call the security team right now to get those T-Rexes back before the tour gets to them. Or they get to the tour.
I'm sorry, Dustin. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. You never do, Marty. You never do.
The T-Rexes have escaped. I want to go home.
You never do, Marty. Do you see that? Look at the girl in the driver's seat. Look at that.
Tell me kids are not enjoying this. Look at how cute they are. Look at that little boy in like his little outfit. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Look at how excited he is. I think the kids are just gonna love.
Welcome back to Asia in late Cretaceous period. Here we have three kinds of dinosaurs from Mongolia, starting with Velociraptor. Despite what you may have seen in movies, Velociraptor is not 6 feet tall, but actually about 3 feet tall, 6 feet long, and about 20 to 30 pounds. Just think of an extra scary turkey. The next dinosaur in this theme. This is thanks to the fossil of a Velociraptor and Protoceratops found, who died still locked in combat. The Protoceratops broke the Velociraptor's arm with its powerful
died
beak
like that,
moments
locked
before
like
they were both buried in sand by a landslide.
Wow.
The other dinosaur in the scene, Oviraptor, has an unfortunate name, meaning egg thief. When this dinosaur was discovered, it was found over a nest of eggs thought to belong to Protoceratops. After later research, scientists realized it was sitting on a nest of its own eggs. But the name stuck and is still debated if Oviraptor actually ate eggs. Here at Jurassic Quest, ours take theirs sunny side up.
Yet another dinosaur from Mongolia is the large Tyrannosaurus you see here, with the long claws. The claws on its hands could grow up to 3 feet long, making them the longest claws in the animal kingdom. Most of what we know about Tyrannosaurus comes from animals closely related to it. The only fossils we have of this animal are its shoulders, arms, and hands. It is believed to be an herbivore, but we are still looking for more fossils to know for sure. The dinosaur next to it is a Lorotitan, lived in what is now eastern Russia. It's in a special group of duck-billed dinosaurs called lambeosaurs, which are famous for the elaborate crests on their heads. These crests would have certainly served as display structures, but may also have been used in some lambeosaurs as resonating chambers to make sounds used to communicate effectively through the herd. Speaking of communication,
Hope you're not mad at me about accidentally releasing the T-Rexes. Anyway, in this scene you see Shianchusaurus. Shianchusaurus is a tyrannosaur from China,
cool name,
and it's
look.
closely related to Paleontologists
Shianchusaurus.
from Mongolia. Both have awfully long, narrow noses for members of the Tyrannosaur family. We're not sure what those noses may have been used for. Maybe they were specializing in smaller, faster prey, not needing the powerful bite of a T-Rex. Speaking of which, if you see one of them, please let one of our 4 security officers know. Now, scientists only described this dinosaur in 2014, so there are still a lot of unanswered questions about it. But I can tell you this much. In the United States, we do not typically refer to this dinosaur as Shianchusaurus. We typically just call it Pinocchio Rex.
Now we travel to Argentina. The big animal you see in this scene is Giganotosaurus, arguably one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs.
Chicken.
Though it may look a lot like T-Rex, it's actually a much different animal. Unlike a T-Rex, it has 3 claws on each hand, a lighter bone structure, and teeth that were designed for slicing. Unlike a T-Rex's, which were meant for crushing through bones and ripping car tops open. Speaking of which, if you see one of our missing T-Rexes, please let one of our 3. Second largest in this scene is Carnotaurus, which means meat-eating bull because of peculiar horns on its head.
Their tiny little arms.
It might have used its horns as a weapon against other predators.
Little arms?
It's a very funny looking dinosaur, not just because of the horns, but because of its tiny little arms. Carnotaurus has one of the smallest arms of any known dinosaur, even smaller than the T-Rex. The small dinosaur you see in this scene is Albersaurus, a small, fast predator that lived in Argentina during the late Cretaceous period. It is believed to have eaten Insects? Ew.
Please pause. The dinosaur with the long crest on the back of its head is called Parasaurolophus. Parasaurolophus is a hadrosaur, a family of dinosaurs sometimes called duck-billed dinosaurs because of the shape of their snouts. Other hadrosaurs include Iguanodon or Parasaurolophus is a cool dinosaur because it's one of the few dinosaurs where we know what they might have sounded like. Paleontologists discovered that by looking at the crest on its head. What they found were tubes inside going back and forth between the nasal passage and the throat. When they recreated blowing air through their tubes, they discovered that the crest would have made a horn sound. The new script here just says make horn sounds. No, guys, I'm not gonna do that.
Sarah.
Prey animals. Their sound might have attracted large predators. If our missing T-Rexes hear that sound coming from one of your cars, they might be following the tour back in the direction of their cage. So perhaps we should move.
Koalas is the largest flying animal to ever take to the sky. It lived in what's now Texas because everything is bigger in Texas. It's named after the Quetzalcoatl, the Aztec feather serpent deity. It had a wingspan of 36 feet. That's the same as a here. It was the height of a giraffe, but would weigh less than 600 pounds. That's a lot, but it's incredibly light for an animal of this size because it was doing everything possible to be as light as possible, including having very hollow bones. This is necessary for it to achieve flight. Go ahead and text that question to 844-DINO-411 or 844-346.
Albertosaurus. Albertosaurus is a close relative of T-Rex, roughly half the size of a fully grown T-Rex. Albertosaurus is named after the Canadian province of Alberta, where almost all of the remains of Albertosaurus have been found. This makes Albertosaurus a Canadian dinosaur. And if you listen very carefully, you can almost hear it apologizing. Sorry about that. The other dinosaur here, Anzu, was named after a Mesopotamian bird demon. It is a large North American oviraptorid found in the Hell Creek Formation of South Dakota and had a beak with no teeth. Anzu is relatively a new discovery, and scientists are still trying to learn more about this creature.
Coming out of those frills. Now, if you'd like to learn more about ceratopsians or any dinosaur, you can text your questions to me at
Armored dinosaur is Ankylosaurus, also known as fused lizard. Ankylosaurus was armored from head to toe with bits of bones on their skin called osteoderms. They are known for having a bony club tail, which was used to swing back and forth as a weapon to deter predators. Scientists have even found a T-Rex fossil with a broken leg that was shattered at about the same height as an Ankylosaurus tail club. This suggests that Ankylosaurus could fight off a T-Rex and possibly even win. The animal here is a Pachycephalosaurus, meaning thick-headed lizard, named after its thick, domed skull. It is often depicted as being used to headbutt each other for dominance, but some scientists think it is more likely used for display, and that the large dome didn't grow until much later in life, which has implications for the next dinosaur in this scene, Dracorex hogwartsia. And if that sounds like something from a Harry Potter book, that's because it's from a Harry Potter book. The name actually means Dragon King of Hogwarts, because this dinosaur aged, the shape of its skull changed, and that what we're really seeing here is a juvenile Pachycephalosaurus. But we won't know for sure until more fossils are found.
I've got great news, everyone. Our brand new head of security, Lisa, has managed to locate one of the T-Rexes and lure it back to its area. That's great news because T-Rex is one of the most common favorite dinosaurs. So that means we can actually talk about the T-Rex, the tyrant lizard king, while we have one of them here to look at. Tyrannosaurus Rex has the most powerful bite of any land animal, between 8,000 and 12,000 pounds per square inch. they needed such a powerful bite to crush the bones of the prey, or even tear through the roof of the car. The powerful bite was the only trick the T-Rex had up its very short sleeve. It also had something called a septic bite. Very short, so it couldn't brush its teeth. That means its mouth was filled with bits of its last meal, filling its mouth with bacteria. When T-Rex went hunting, it would sometimes bite into prey that got away. If that happened, some of the bacteria from T-Rex's mouth might infect the wound, causing the prey animal to get sick.
Make sure to pause your audio.
Dinosaur, the Triceratops. The cool thing about Triceratops... No! The last T-Rex, and he's eating the Triceratops! Oh no, folks, this is terrible! That's my favorite Triceratops! Lisa, we've located the missing T-Rex! Lisa, do you copy? Oh no, this is terrible! Well, since we're here, Triceratops is an herbivore from the end of the Cretaceous period. That's the same time and place that T-Rex lived. Now, Triceratops means three-horned face for pretty obvious reasons. Scientists used to think that Triceratops used the frill on the back of its head to defend its neck from T-Rex. That seems like it would make a lot of sense, but there's actually evidence that when T-Rex did eat Triceratops, he would sometimes bite down on that frill and pull the Triceratops' head right off. Rival dinosaurs.
The Megalodon.
Wait, I think that T-Rex is starting to use the
Megalodon.
vehicle. Better make like a tree and bark out of here. Well, or with a bigger bite.
And now for something scarier with an even bigger bite. Megalodon. Megalodon is the largest shark to ever swim the seas. It is believed to reach up to 60 feet in length and had rows of hundreds of teeth. These teeth would sometimes fall out and be replaced with new teeth, similar to sharks today. Megalodon teeth have been found on every continent, including Antarctica. For centuries, these teeth were thought to be the petrified tongues of dragons and sea serpents. What they actually were was no less scary. The good news is that Megalodon is definitely extinct, despite what some TV shows and movies would.
So at the very end of this, there's a lot of items you can purchase.
Okay, thank you. How much are the small plush? 20?
I want to see.
Whoa.
Okay.
So we just got finished with Jurassic Quest. Overall, this experience was about 45 minutes to an hour, 15 minutes, depending on how busy it is. But I had a ton of fun. What'd you think, Miss Rebecca?
I loved it. I had a ton of fun too.
Yeah.
It was educational and also like really cool.
And it was just a whole storyline throughout the whole Jurassic Quest.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. Thank you guys for joining us here on Five Fires. Before we fire it down, what'd you think, Sonic?
It was good. It was fun.
Which one was your favorite dinosaur?
I think the Megalodon.
Ah, get out of here.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, everybody, we are firing it down. The Cali Bay and Sonic are calling it a day. I'm the main host, Mondo. Ah.